Their purpose is already here somewhere.
Yes.
You just got to recognize it. And so I learned that in my pursuit of entrepreneurship, in my pursuit outside of this traditional job, that there was something greater that I was missing.
This is Raina Carrillo with Purpose and Passion. You know, I'm all about educating, empowering, teaching awareness. And before I start this episode, woohoo! I want to give a special shout out to Wood Class in the city of Inglewood. Some youngsters, you know, that are in business selling a lot of Wood Class clothing. And today I'm wearing Made in Inglewood. I'm not made in Inglewood, but I'm born and raised in Inglewood. But I was made in TJ, according to my parents. So today we have Matthew Newman,
What's up?
serial entrepreneur, founder, and CEO, and the owner of where I get to film Purpose and Passion, all in co-working of Inglewood. Thank you so much for just giving us the opportunity to, you know, interview you, the owner. Like, look at this. This is amazing. It's a diamond in the rough.
Thank you very much. I always tell people that it's a diamond in the rough intentionally.
Yes.
And we can always beautify the outside, but we want people to be completely amazed when they walk in.
Oh my gosh.
True diamond in the rough.
Yeah, we're definitely amazed. I'm amazed. That's why I'm here. And I love supporting local Inglewood business owners, you know. So I support you, Matthew.
I know you do. And that's greatly appreciated. I already know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So take our viewers down back memory lane and let them know where your parents are born and raised and where were you born and raised.
Man, this lane is very long. But this memory lane is, again, my name is Matthew Newman. I always introduce myself as a 7-figure serial entrepreneur. I've been blessed to generate in excess to over $6.5 million within my business, specifically one of the businesses, not this space, but one of my businesses, which I consider the bread and butter. I always introduce myself that way. Why? Because I have a passion for developing people. And people are often developed by your story. Most people don't know that. And so it's my goal each time that I have an opportunity to share more is to share that portion, because one day I couldn't say that. One day I could not say that I was a 7-figure serial entrepreneur. One day I could not say that I generated over $6.5 million into a business. I one day would have hoped to said that, have shared that.
But you're here now.
But I'm here now. And so born and raised in Houston, Texas.
All right.
Missouri City.
H-Town, right?
H-Town
Am I doing
all
it right?
day.
H-Town.
H-Town all day. Most people throw it this way. H-Town is the back of the hand. But nonetheless, is born and raised in Houston, Texas, a suburb called Missouri City, Texas. We say Mo City, Texas, for those who don't know. My parents' father is from a small town called Smithfield, Texas.
Okay.
My mom is from Wichita Falls, Texas. So almost kind of like north and south of each other. But they, of course, met in Houston. I am the youngest of 2 brothers. I have a brother who's 2 years older than me and another brother who's 8 years older than me. And our bond is inseparable. We have several other folks, god brothers, that are very close, that blood could make us closer as well. But from my mom and dad, I have 2 older brothers. And for me, my story is simple. I've heard this long ago, is that my testimony is normal. I don't have the testimony of living on drugs and getting off drugs, being a drunkard and not being a drunk. I don't have that story. I was never addicted to any type of controlled substance or addicted to women, or I never had that.
Not women? No,
not, I can't say on the podcast, I'm married now. But I never had that story. The beautiful part is that my story evolved traditionally. My mom and dad were in the home. It was just us 5 in the home. I went to school. I got a degree. I got out and got a job. But the problem is, I always say this, financially, my story stopped shortly after college, because 9 months after I got welcomed into a new career, relocated out of San Antonio into a career in Dallas, I lost my job. So I lost hope. I lost hope not only in the path of traditional career choices, but I lost hope in the sense of my own self-esteem, because I took it as like, I did something wrong. What did I do? And what I didn't do was make sales. But the company was so focused on the sale and not the relationship. Until I transitioned into a new industry that I have tons of passion for now, that has helped me to generate the millions that I spoke about earlier. And that's opened the doors for so many different things. Opened the doors in order to generate profit, to build this space. It opened the doors for me to, once the clients I used to work for and now my clients that I provide staff for, it's opened the doors for so many things. And one of the things I'm so proud to have learned in that experience is the significance of leadership. And that significance of helping people develop who they truly are. My pastor in San Antonio says this: it's time for us to stop trying to discover purpose and recognize purpose. And that helped me.
Break that down.
Okay.
For the viewers.
Yeah.
Because that's a very powerful statement.
This is rich, y'all. And many people are oftentimes in this search and pursuit for purpose. I believe that passion and purpose are tied together.
Yes.
But we're in pursuit of something that's already inside of us, but yet we haven't either been in the right environment or around the right people to unlock what's inside of us. So therefore we keep searching. So my pastor is saying, look, your direction, your destiny is already preordained. So because it's already preordained, that means that their purpose is already here somewhere.
Yes.
You just got to recognize it. And so I learned that in my pursuit of entrepreneurship, in my pursuit outside of this traditional job, that there was something greater that I was missing. And that was the reach to more people. And if I myself can tell my story, I can help unplug something in someone else that was once either laying dormant or just hidden from their view. And that's the purpose and the passion. And I always say that I enjoy being a chauffeur, helping someone to navigate to their purpose and their passion.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So pretty much like a mentor and a coach.
Absolutely.
And you know what? And the reason why I say it's a blessing is because a lot of people, including myself, when I go back down memory lane, I was an at-risk youth because I didn't have purpose. So when you don't have purpose, you fall into the wrong crowds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you create your purpose from your environment.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so now it's like, I remember in 1999, I started to kind of like transition, right? To trying to find myself. And I think in my early 20s or mid 20s, it was interesting because I was working for Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace Foundation. This was during the Donovan Jackson case, where we had our first, police brutalities happen in Inglewood all the time. But at this time, it was a point where people had video. So now this was like the first footage of catching cops beating up, I believe he was Afro-Latino, but African-American male youth. And it was all over the news. They wanted the riots to pop off. And I did not know I had leadership skills.
Wow.
But I had them in the streets. But I didn't know what leadership skills were because I was just in survival mode in the streets, right? And I guess because of my personality, right, I was able to lead people or to convince people of doing things, right? And so because of the Donovan Jackson case, they made me the lead. So Khalid Shah says, we need a young person to lead, and it's you. Wow. And I was blown away because it's like, why me? Like, I'm just Raina from Inglewood, you know? And from there, that's where it started. The purpose of helping the community, the passion of helping the community, right? And here we are. Like, I can't believe, just like how you said, like, being the businessman you are right now, I can't believe I'm alive at the age of 44. Wow. I was supposed to be done, gone 2 times years ago, right? When I was in 97, I was around 17, 18, I was supposed to be dead. And then one more time in the early 2000s, supposed to be dead, right? But here I am with a freaking podcast, talking to a freaking entrepreneur. You said what, 6 figures?
6.5.
Woo!
So 7. So yeah. So it's very interesting. And anytime that we trace our story, and it's a scary path to go back down, right? This morning, I had counseling at 8:00 this morning, and we're tracing some things mentally that is quite devastating, but that we never realize is there. So as we trace certain things, we trace these memories, we trace the blessings, the trail of blessings that allowed us to be here. You at 44, me at 36, to be here like when we should have been dead and gone. We say in the church, when I look back over my life and just realize how blessed I am, like we're truly blessed to be here because so many people are impacted, and some folks are even perfected, not only by our faith, but by our stories. So it's a beautiful thing.
So let's talk about, because there's some people, that are watching this, and they're probably like, what is a serial entrepreneur? Can you kind of break that down for them?
Serial entrepreneur is very simple. A serial entrepreneur is one who essentially starts manages, operates overseas, if you will, whatever you want to say, owns multiple businesses.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I've decided that there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
For me, there's no going back to corporate America. I'm living off 3 words this year: content, collaboration, and side hustles. So whatever it is I have to do in order to add to the pot or to the plan in order to perfect myself as an entrepreneur to make more money, that's what I'm going to do. Serial entrepreneur is defined as one who owns multiple businesses.
Okay, so let's talk about one of them
Yes.
right now, and we'll go into the other ones.
Okay.
But this one is very dear to my heart because it's in the city of Inglewood.
Yep.
And I know that, like, when you're in El Segundo or Marina del Rey, Playa del Rey, you see WeWork.
Yep.
But to me, you are the community WeWork.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's important to have your business in our community to give an outlet to a person that can't afford to rent an office. I mean, like an office space for like $2-3 grand, right?
Correct.
But instead, they can rent an office space so then they can continue their entrepreneurship as a as a professional.
That's
you know,
right. Correct.
So if somebody's getting paid on a 1099 and they have a business meeting and they have a business place to meet with their potential client or their client, it makes it so professional.
Absolutely.
But also just, looking at how your layout is to have events, like my next event coming up, I believe it's the 25th of this month, the Wealth, Health, and Self for Women Empowerment for Women's Month. And so just seeing that is just so beautiful. And so how did All In Co-working of Inglewood come about? So
when you say WeWork, most people know co-working or collaborative workspaces. They automatically reference WeWork.
Yes.
And WeWork has done a phenomenal job of brand continuity, if you will. But folks forget about Regis. Regis is an office space that is available for lease. They provide you with a desk, a chair, a file cabinet, and a little flower, right? So, but that is essentially co-working, where it's any business can go in and rent an office space for a term, whatever that term is. That is essentially co-working, but it's been evolved into these collaborative spaces where events, happen. You can have industry workshops, networking hours, happy hours, etc., under the same roof. Where Regis is like, go there, work, go home.
Yes.
Where co-working has evolved to be go there, work, but after work, you can drink a little bit. There's beer on tap. There's free coffee. There's an honesty cabinet or honesty vending machine, whatever you want to say. That is now the newfound co-working that WeWork, or the model that WeWork has done so well in. Here's where WeWork fell short. Then I'll get into All In Co-working Inglewood. WeWork started with identifying with the young entrepreneurs. That's how they started their model. I've done a lot of partnerships with a telecom company with WeWork, so I know their model very well. And it worked so well until they took their eye off of community. They start putting it on enterprise. You can go read about it, and that's where the gap was really, really, really widened between what they were attempting to do with community and then going to enterprise.
Yes.
When I was at Regis, I spent $40,000 a year at Regis in Beverly Hills, Century City for my talent agency.
Wow.
2 offices, 4 parking spots, $36,000 to be exact. As I started making more and more money, I start realizing that just because I can afford it doesn't mean that I need to be there. What about the people who cannot afford $36,000 or $40,000 a year, but still have a phenomenal brand, a phenomenal service or product offering that just needs a conducive space to help revolutionize their business? So I said, what if I look in Watts, South Central, or Inglewood for a building? Let me backtrack. I said, actually, I'm going to rent out the entire 3rd floor at Regis. I said, rent? The young lady who was very instrumental in helping start this space says, bro, that's not buying the block. You going to rent ain't buying the block. So that was what my mindset was. So as I started thinking, we started to qualify different buildings in the areas. This building popped up. And though I don't own it, I said, instead of buying a building or renting out the entire 3rd floor, I'll lease a space and start leasing space within a space.
Yes.
And that's where I said, if I can find a space, convert some offices or rooms into offices and open it up to hot desk, That's me not only staying true to the mission
Mm-hmm.
of helping entrepreneurs have an affordable space, but also staying true to the mission of leasing a space within a space.
Yeah.
So I took profit from a phenomenal year in business with my talent agency, and I put $130,000 into this space. And I did everything from furniture to complete remodel,
Yes.
painting, TV trims, artwork around the walls, all of that great stuff, all for $130,000. And that comes from this philosophy that I teach called PTP, protect the profit. Anytime you make money, you should be applying the profits of that money towards something that's going to continue to generate money.
Yes.
Not going out and buying the watches and the shoes and the cars and the clothes.
The material items.
All those is good. And I did that. But it's also finding out a dollar amount that you can apply back into a business or some type of revenue generating vehicle that takes that profit and continues to build upon the profit. So that's how All In Co-working of Inglewood was started. The name itself was supposed to be called 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
And there's a picture. And there's a picture that you can find. You can put in the 3 a.m. entrepreneur on Google. And it's a picture of this apartment community where there's this one light that's on. And it's a line that says, entrepreneur, 3 a.m. And it's indicative of an entrepreneur is always grinding, always hustling, even at 3 a.m.
We need to make shirts.
While everyone else is asleep.
You need to make shirts.
I need to make shirts.
I like that concept.
The 3 a.m. entrepreneur.
Wow, the light bulb.
The light bulb. And I mean, I can go all day about that. But All In Co-working of Inglewood, as I was battling these names, I said All In because in order for you to really maximize the results of your effort, you gotta go all in.
And all in is a very powerful word because I remember when Nipsey Hussle talked about that in his business, all in, or something. It was like a rap song or something. And all in is powerful. It is powerful.
Yeah. It was everything to me. And it's the only way that anyone, we can't pity pat with our success.
Mm-hmm.
We simply cannot. We cannot count on government to give us the resources we need to be successful.
Yes.
We can't count on our own people to give us the resources. We always say, family ain't going to make you rich. Friends ain't going to make you rich.
Yeah.
It's going to be the outside.
Yeah.
So if nobody else gives and does what you know or does what you know needs to be done, then you need to give it to yourself. And the only way you're going to really get it is if you go all in. And that's where All In Co-working of Inglewood was birthed.
Yeah, well, I like that name. I like, and Inglewood's in it, so.
And Inglewood's in it all day.
Like Inglewood, all on the wall.
And let me say this, Raina, it's important to share this because All In Co-working of Inglewood is a community space.
Yes.
The slogan itself is saying it's dedicated to the complete journey of the entrepreneur nestled in the heart of Inglewood.
Wow.
And that's important. But I also want to give praises and shout out to two people or two organizations that are surrounding us.
Mm-hmm.
That's La Creative Space, that's here in Inglewood. Then there's also the Metaphor Club, which is further north on Crenshaw. The blessing and the great news in all of that is those three co-working spaces are all owned by my fraternity brothers.
Beautiful.
So my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, brothers in the fraternity own All In Co-working of Inglewood. Me, there's a brother who owns La Creative Space, and there's a group of brothers who own Metaphor Club. Yeah, All In Co-working of Inglewood is a powerful force within the community. And we place it here, of course, the emphasis here.
Yes.
Because we don't see any other type of entrepreneurial focus in the city of Inglewood. I'm bold when I say that.
Yes.
So I'm very bold in communicating with Councilwoman Dion Falk, who's saying, like, we need to start bringing stuff to the district. We need to start bringing stuff to the city of Inglewood. Why? Because entrepreneurs are hungry.
Yes.
So when we do entrepreneur events here, we want to ensure that we're inviting everybody. We want to ensure that everyone's included to make them a part. Because what I realize, Raina, is that there are so many entrepreneurs in our community that just don't have the space. I'm not talking about the four walls.
Yes.
I'm talking about the community of people
to
support them, to encourage them, to help them to build upon the ideals and the concept that they have that can revolutionize culture. So that's why I'm, again, very proud of All In Co-working of Inglewood because of the heart that it has in the heart of the community.
Yes. And then I also want to piggyback going back, when we're talking about Sir Entrepreneur. So before All In Co-working of Inglewood, what are the other businesses?
Oh, man. So my first business, we all have the lemonade stand. We all have that business story. But my friend and I, Kelly Halashin, actually used to sell rice cakes in Missouri City. Police shut us down though. They said we have a permit. I'm like, man, let us sell these rice cakes. Yeah. Rice cakes and water. Because that was the only thing in his pantry. But nonetheless, it's 2012, not 2012, somewhere around 2012, somewhere around there. I started my first business, and it's called My Lawnmower and Me. Still running today in East Dallas, Texas. We service residential and commercial lawn yards and provide residential commercial lawn maintenance. My Lawnmower and Me is important. It's a business that I will never give up. Yes. Because when I was broke and disgusted, it was the only business that I had, the only money. Let me tell you this story really quick. This is what it means to go all in. When I was broke and disgusted, lost my job, starting to get my feet wet in the industry, I was getting paid on net 60 and net 90, getting paid every 60 and 90 days. Yes. So I was trying to figure out, how do I make money? The only thing I can do is go buy a lawnmower, right? Resort back to what you love to do as a child. Yes. It was quick. I can go knock on some doors. I can go hand out flyers. Somebody's going to say yes. Yes. 3 people, I got $50 or $75 in a day of cutting some yards. $75 was a lot of money for me then.
Yeah, especially back then. Yeah.
Especially back then. So one day, I used to also substitute teach. I didn't have enough money to pay off the university that I got my degree from in order to get my transcript. So the only thing that I can become was a paraprofessional. So all I could do was go into the library and print papers for teachers who needed print jobs while the librarian was out on maternity leave, out for the day, sick, whatever. So I would go to these elementary schools, had no problem with it. Would sit in the office, answer calls, go to the library, print papers, whatever. But outside in the back of my 2000 Impala, guess what I had? A lawnmower. After school, I would go cut yards. One day, my gas line on the weed eater broke. It deteriorated because I left gas in it and over the winter, whatever. And so I had to literally go to my toolbox in the back of my car, take out a pair of scissors, and edge this lady's grass till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. That's going all in.
Wow.
By any means necessary, no matter what.
Jeez.
But I got the money in order to do what I needed to do or to supplement the money that my dad was giving. That's why I won't give up that business. Wow. That business taught me a lot about tenacity. The business taught me a lot about business. That business taught me a lot about going out to get clients. I would create goal charts of like winning new clients per day, the whole nine. That business taught me so much about business. The other business that I have is transferring, is my talent agency. My talent agency is called the Brand Pillars. We are a boutique, experiential marketing and retail merchandising staffing agency. On the retail side, we provide overnight merchandisers to major retailers. Okay. Essentially, if you go into a store and you see the lingerie shelf moved and it's replaced by some pharmaceutical items, my team went into the store last night while you were asleep to move those shelves around. Oh, that's what merchandisers do. So we look at the whole 9 planograms and put things on the shelves and tags and all that great stuff. On the experiential side, you imagine brand marketing and events. You go to Coachella, Lollapalooza, major music festivals, South by Southwest, the LA Auto Show, whatever. Yes. And say, for example, the brand Walmart is there. I hire the brand models that represent that company. So we can bill our client anywhere from $40 to $60, sometimes $70 an hour and pay out $35 or $40. And then we charge agency fees, et cetera, in order to make money. But that's the model. That's any staffing model, whether it's brand staff or I'm hiring a C-level exec. So that's the Brand Pillars. The other, of course, we know All In co-working with Inglewood. My wife and I are 50-50 partners on a rental car business. We currently rent 2 cars out here in specifically the city of LA. And then I also have my eBay store, which I'm incredibly, that's one, the rental car company and my eBay store are my side hustles. Yes. So yeah, those are my businesses. I'm thinking, of course I can talk about my tech company.
Yes, please do, because that's something new, right? You know, like technology is not new, but in general, it's like a new topic for Purpose and Passion.
So my tech company is called Trusa, which means truly social. We're a social media app based on video. Yeah. So Clubhouse, during the rise of the pandemic, evolved substantially. Yes. But here's what Forbes said. Forbes said that social media continues to amplify white supremacy, but suppress anti-racism. I'm gonna say that again. Forbes reported in an article that social media continues to amplify white supremacy, but yet suppress anti-racism. Yeah. So what we found during the pandemic was that Blacks were being muted, which is why you have the blackout TikTok, blackout Twitter, like all these these people were abstaining from the use of mainstream social media.
Mm-hmm.
So myself and my team, and I'll share who my partners are in this business, said, hey, look, there's some things that we got to do. We need to shake this thing up in order for us to have a voice on social media. So we developed this tech platform, and the tech platform basically allows you to move on and off stage like Clubhouse, but on video. Because what we found was that Clubhouse was not inclusive.
Yeah.
Here's why. They were not inclusive, one, because they marginalized Android users. It was only available for Apple. Here's what's the most important part. They marginalized the deaf and hard of hearing. Because if you're on Clubhouse and you're deaf with a capital D, you can't hear.
Yes.
Right? So there needs to be a way for the deaf to play part. So they can take part by reading lips,
right?
Watching facial expressions, closed caption, all of those add-ons to help them to include them in the use of social media. And that's what it means to be truly social. So I've partnered with Kareem Grimes, who's preached on CW's hit show All American. That's my boy. Shout out to Kareem Grimes. I partnered with USA Olympic track and field Olympian Mickey Barber. Shout out to Mickey Barber. And then, of course, 6-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, Terrell Owens, T.O.
Oh, yeah.
It's my boy. Shout out to T.O. And then, of course, we have Sirius XM, Sway Calloway, Sway in the Morning. So these are my business partners. Plus, I mean, Gregory Daniel, Cliff Jones, Rachel Bradley, Anita Lane, my publicist and our director of communications. We have a full team of people who are really looking to magnify this aspect of social media. The greatest part that makes us different with Truso is that Truso has avatars that you can utilize as yourself. So as you're on camera delivering whatever message you're delivering, you can toggle between your real self or the avatar.
Oh my God.
So as we look to move into the metaverse, we want to find true reasons why it's important to be in the metaverse. We're incredibly proud to say that we launched our crowdfunding campaign. That's a whole other conversation. You want me to get into that? But we launched our crowdfunding campaign. In 3 months, we raised $74,000.
Wow.
So, and that's, I mean, again, we can go all day about the business aspects and why crowdfunding is even important, but at least hopefully that gives you and the viewers some insight into the businesses.
Yes. So a light bulb went up right now.
Okay.
Because before our interview, we talked about we only know something about somebody until you interview them.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
And the stuff that you're telling me, I'm just blown away and very impressed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because number one, when you're a man of color, especially a Black man, as an entrepreneur, it's like, it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a huge thing. It really is. And just hearing like I'm just blown away by it. Like you do more than this, you know?
Yeah. And that's the point of the space though. It's like for people to come in because there are other people like you and I, right? Other people who have, you said something important. What you said was that it's a man of color, person of color, who's an entrepreneur, but someone who's doing it well.
Yes.
Because there are many people who pursue entrepreneurship completely blind to all of the complexities of entrepreneurship. It ain't all these stories. Yeah, this money's an accumulation. You know what I mean? This crowdfunding campaign was an accumulation. That don't mean that we didn't fight with the company. We fought tooth and nail with the company, even brought in legal counsel with the company that we were raising through. But it was all of those fights behind the scene comes with entrepreneurship. I want to be completely transparent. When people watch and listen to entrepreneurs tell success stories, I want to tell them the deep, dark secrets of the failures.
Yes.
So that they can understand how to get out of them. So they can understand that when you receive something, you don't panic. It's just a part of the process.
It is a part of the process because, you know, something most people don't know about me, because I'm more of a community leader than anything, but I love to help educate the Black and Brown community on the importance of life insurance. So I'm a life insurance agent,
I'm about to talk about it, yes.
And what's crazy is when they say the dark side, like for me, my dark side was the fact that I couldn't pass the state exam. I couldn't. And I remember and they say it's not a failure, but I'm like, yeah, it is because I didn't pass. It was like I didn't pass the second time, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. And I felt like I was like, okay, well, maybe this is not for me. Maybe this is not for me. And so I went into prayer and I said, God, you got to give me a sign or something, because I'm really trying to educate our community. Because at the time I was a gang interventionist and I was tired of fundraising for funerals because I got burnt out, right? I got burnt out. And so I said, okay, this life insurance could be, a tool for people, $20 a month, $10 a month or whatever, with term insurance, at least. Some insurance is better than no insurance.
For sure.
And you can leave a legacy that way. But you know what? I never gave up.
Wow.
I never gave up.
Wow.
And when I have somebody that trusts me with their information and trusts me with their building their legacy, it's all worth it.
For sure.
It is. So I share that story. Most people are embarrassed and say, oh my God, no, I'm not embarrassed because this was my dark part of it,
You're going to have many of them.
Oh
and
my God.
if you hide the failures, I don't believe you will ever, if you hide the failure, like you're
trying to sugarcoat it,
you're
right?
trying to sugarcoat it, and you're not being true with yourself.
Yeah.
And at some point, all of that, the stuff that is hidden, the truth is going to come out.
Yes.
It's going to come out where people are going to consider you to be fraud.
Yeah. Because you weren't very honest or
because you
authentic.
weren't being honest.
Yes.
And I got sick and tired of the people who blew smoke about what they were doing and how they were doing it and what they were making. And those people never really demonstrated tangible.
Yes.
Right. And that's the thing that we miss when trying to communicate our success, is that we avoid communicating the tangibles of our story. Those tangible pieces that somebody can say, you know what, I can take the information that I learned today and go do this. Right. And I gave this story on my podcast the other day to the young lady who I was interviewing. And one thing that I think maybe that was, but I don't know. But nonetheless, the other day, I said that what I encourage people to do is that if I give them something, there's always a next to it. What I mean by that is that if I give you information, I say, follow up with me and let me know how it went. That's a tangible, right? So
follow-up is important.
Jim Rohn says the fortune is in the follow-up. And so if I communicate the how I started my eBay store, and I say, you know what? If you go start your eBay store, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Go your normal eBay account. It's not a store, whatever is your account.
Yes.
Go to eBay, start your account, post 3 items that you can sell at home. When you do that, text me, and I'm going to connect you to the guy who manages my store. I pay him X dollars an hour. And if they don't hit me up, you're not serious about it. I'm telling you right now that you can generate 50% profit on the items. Over this is March 15th. So this has been 2 months and 15 days. Our store has generated nearly $2,800 in revenue, right?
Yeah.
We net, I think in the bank now, it's probably $1,800 in the last, and that's one store.
Yeah. So
the whole point I can go to all day about this eBay account store. But what I'm saying is that people are looking for $1,800 extra.
Yes.
Right. So if I'm showing you how you can do it legally, and you don't follow up from me just saying, go create an account, post 3 items and hit me up, you're not serious.
Wow.
So I gave that on the podcast the other day, like the definition of an ask hole. An ask hole is somebody who continues to ask for advice and don't implement the advice you've given.
Yes.
So we have to communicate the failures with that store, but also the wins, but connect them with tangibles.
Yes.
So
I love that. Well, we're definitely going to have a part 2.
Oh yeah, we got to have a part 2.
We're going to definitely have a part 2 about, going deep specifically for the entrepreneur. So before we close on Purpose and Passion, is there something that you want to share? Like, how can the viewers find you?
Yeah.
Give them something inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on social media, on Instagram at Mr_Catch-on-Fire. That's MR_Catch-on-Fire. Or my website, www.matthewnewman.org. Those are my 2 avenues that you can connect or find me on there. If you ever want to set up a time to chat, links in the bio.
Yes.
On Instagram. Here's what I want to leave with folks as an inspiration. As we say this in the church, let me encourage you as I encourage myself. Here's what I posted on Instagram today. I said, look here. This year I'm committing to being brutally honest about how I'm feeling. And what I realized lately is that I have not been completely honest with myself, though I've been truthfully and completely honest with everyone else. So, and this is what I'm walking through with my counselor at this point. The whole 9 is that when the table is turned,
Yes.
you're the one who's encouraging everybody. You're giving the love, you're giving the light. But when it's time for you to receive it, do you have that strength? Have you rehearsed it enough in order to give it to yourself? Ooh. So my encouragement to everybody watching and listening is that as you continue to journey through this year, be completely honest with who you are. Be completely honest with where you are. And whatever help you need, whatever you desire, wherever that oomph is inside of you, find out how to fulfill it truthfully and honestly.
Wow. Well, let me tell you something. We got church today with Matthew, the book of Matthew. This is Purpose and Passion with Raina Carrillo signing out in the city of Inglewood. Woo-hoo!
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient Nasset. Nasset increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.